The movie opens with a very quiet city like uninhabited. The scene switches to a family who are in a mini-market. They are Lee as the father, Evelyn as the mother, Reagan as their daughter who is also deaf, Marcus as their son, and also their youngest brother. The youngest brother is seen trying to reach a toy plane that is on the top shelf, but as he reaches for it, the toy plane slips from his grip and almost falls. Fortunately, Reagan manages to catch the plane. Their father Lee, who sees this, immediately warns him and tells them to go back to their mother. When they are all about to leave the mini-market, their father is shocked to see the toy plane that was brought by the youngest son. With great care, he then removes the battery from the plane and tells the youngest son to leave the toy there because the toy plane is too noisy if played with later. But without the father realizing, from behind, Reagan, who feels sorry for her brother, gives the toy to the youngest brother, who finally brings it and does not forget to also bring the battery without the knowledge of Reagan and their parents. It is seen that when they walk, they do not wear footwear. They do this because footwear will make a sound that could make the monster know. In short, when they get to the bridge, suddenly the toy plane that the youngest son brought makes a sound that surprises their father. He quickly runs to save his son, but suddenly a monster appears and kills the youngest son. Months have passed since the incident. Reagan seems to feel very guilty. On the other hand, their father is seen in a room full of information about these terrifying creatures. It is known here that the creature is very sensitive to sound and does not work when shot, and at least there are 3 monsters that move in this area. He always tries to find help, but the results are the same. Elsewhere, Evelyn is seen busy preparing baby equipment for the baby she is carrying. At night when they are eating, Marcus and Reagan play Monopoly, which eventually Marcus accidentally knocks over an oil lamp that makes a sound and a flame. Immediately their father puts out the fire. They all become tense because of the sound caused by the fall of the oil lamp. Not long after, suddenly a sound is heard that falls directly on the roof of their house. With panic, their father checks it, and it turns out to be a raccoon that accidentally fell. They finally breathed a sigh of relief, but what they did not know was that there was one monster there, and easily crushed the raccoon. The next morning, Lee was seen fixing his sandy road while his wife checked the health condition of her pregnancy, where in a few days the baby she was carrying would soon come out. In short, Reagan, who was curious about the contents of her father's basement, tried to enter there, but suddenly her father appeared from behind and forbade her. He then gave a hearing aid to Reagan, but because Reagan was annoyed because she was not allowed to enter, she refused her father's gift. She also believed that the hearing aid given by her father did not work, but patiently her father continued to persuade Reagan to take the device. And because Reagan was very annoyed, she told her father to stop. But her father refused and still gave her the device, and then left. The story then switches to Lee, the father who was planning to go fishing. He invited Marcus to go with him, but because Marcus was afraid, he did not want to follow. But here the mother persuaded Marcus by saying that his father would protect him. It would also be useful for Marcus to be independent and be able to protect his family if his father was gone. Reluctantly, Marcus finally went with his father, but before leaving, Reagan suddenly appeared and intended to replace her brother Marcus, but her father rejected it. Her father told her to stay at home and take care of her pregnant mother. Because of Reagan's refusal, she finally sulked and decided to leave. After arriving at the river, they both went to the fish trap that had been installed before, hoping there were fish trapped there. But when they were about to take out the fish suddenly slipped from Lee's hand, which made Marcus scared and almost ran away. But he was immediately calmed by his father. His father said that the very fast river flow would make their sound unheard by the creatures. In another place, Reagan was seen very annoyed because she was constantly forbidden and as if not trusted by her father. She then tried the device given by her father, which turned out to be really useless. It made her cry and quickly packed her things and her brother's toys that she kept. She then went to the place where her brother was killed. There she put the toy plane in her brother's place to remember him. Meanwhile, at home, her mother, who was heavily pregnant, was seen washing and carrying a laundry bag. Then she climbed the stairs. But because the bag was dragged, it got caught on a nail that was on the stairs. She quickly pulled it, which made the nail that was bent straighten again. Back to Marcus and Lee, who still did not believe his father's words earlier. He was then invited by his father under the waterfall and shouted. He finally believed and also tried to shout there. They then chatted. Marcus asked if his father still loved his sister, and if he blamed his sister for the incident that killed their brother. His father answered, "Of course not." He loved Reagan as well as Marcus, and his father did not blame Reagan for his brother's death. Marcus then suggested his father to tell Reagan about it soon, because Reagan always blamed herself for the death of her brother. After the conversation, they finally went home. But accidentally they passed a house where there was an old man who looked at his wife's body that had been killed by the creature. Lee then told Marcus to be careful because the old man looked so depressed by the death of his wife, and sure enough, suddenly the old man shouted loudly, which made a monster come and kill him. Marcus and Lee, who saw this, immediately hid from the creature. Meanwhile, at home, Evelyn, who came out of the room, suddenly felt contractions marked by the breaking of her water, a sign that her baby would soon be born. She quickly walked to the basement to turn on the emergency light, but accidentally Evelyn stepped on the nail that was on the stairs, which made the picture frame she was holding suddenly fall, which made the monsters flock into the house. With her feet and stomach in great pain, she quickly turned on her emergency light, and when she was about to go up, suddenly the monsters appeared. She then took a clock and set the alarm for later to lure the creatures. While outside, Lee and Marcus, who had returned, saw from a distance the emergency light that had been turned on. He then rushed to the house to see what actually happened inside. Evelyn kept hiding from the creatures, and suddenly the clock that she had set earlier finally rang, which made the creature attracted and immediately destroyed the clock. She then took advantage of this to escape from this place, but when she was about to leave the house, suddenly another creature appeared right in front of their house. She had no choice but to go upstairs and get into the bathtub. Blood started to come out from under her body. Outside, Lee saw the creature right in front of his door. He told Marcus to quickly light the firecrackers that had been prepared before. He did this to lure the monsters with the sound of firecrackers. In a hurry, Marcus quickly went to light the firecrackers. The monster that was in the house got closer to Evelyn, while Evelyn, who could not bear the pain anymore, finally screamed. But luckily Marcus was on time. The firecrackers were lit right when Evelyn screamed, which made the monster in the house finally go to the place where the firecrackers were. Reagan, who also saw the firecrackers, immediately rushed to the house and saw what had happened. On the other hand, Lee was ready with his shotgun to be on guard. When he arrived at the house, he saw a lot of blood spilled in the house. He concluded that his wife had been killed by the creatures. But it turned out that his wife had hidden behind the glass door with the baby she had given birth to. Outside, Marcus, who had lit the firecrackers, quickly returned to the house, but on the way he heard something that made him panic and ran into the cornfield. Because he kept running, he accidentally hit a large tractor in front of him, which made him fall unconscious instantly. Lee was seen carrying his wife to a warehouse, but suddenly the baby cried, which made him panic. But luckily he arrived and entered the place just after the monsters appeared from behind. He then attached oxygen to their baby and put him in a soundproof box. Back outside, Reagan, who had just arrived, suddenly saw a light coming from the cornfield. She tried to see it, but from behind the creature was there, and because of the high frequency produced by the creature, Reagan's hearing aids started to buzz. But that also made the monster suffer, and finally left. And Lee, who had realized the presence of his children, immediately rushed to find them. Evelyn told him to protect them no matter what happened, because she did not want to lose her children again. He then left to find his children, but without them realizing, the water pipe in their house leaked due to the monster's attack. Back to Reagan, who was curious about the light. She tried to check it, but suddenly Marcus woke up, which made Reagan surprised. On the other side, Lee continued to look for the whereabouts of his children, who were already on top of the corn storage. Meanwhile, because of the leak, Evelyn's place was flooded. Evelyn finally woke up, but soon the monster appeared that came from nowhere. The monster walked slowly towards the baby who was in the box. With great care, Evelyn tried to take her baby, and there the monster was very close to her. Evelyn tried to back away slowly while trying not to make a sound. Lee, who did not see his children on the CCTV, finally went out and looked for them himself. While on top of the corn storage, Marcus and Reagan were seen arguing a little, which made Marcus accidentally fall into the corn storage. It made a loud enough noise that was then heard by the creature that was in the house. The creature quickly approached the source of the sound, passing Lee, who was looking for his children. Lee, who saw this, immediately went to save his children. While there, Reagan, who saw Marcus fall, tried to save him, but she was the one who drowned in the pile of corn. It did not last long. The monster arrived. Seeing that, they quickly flipped the iron door there as a shield, but the monster easily pierced the shield with its claws. Reagan's hearing aid buzzed again, which made the monster suffer again and broke the place and ran away. Seeing that there was a hole, they both quickly escaped and finally met their father. Lee quickly asked them to get in the car because he heard the creature coming again. While he was taking an axe as a preparation, suddenly from behind the creature attacked him, which made his stomach badly wounded. Marcus, who saw this, reflexively screamed, which made the monster immediately approach him. Lee, who was already weak, got up with his remaining strength. He then dropped his axe and saw Reagan there. He then signaled to her that he loved her very much. Then he suddenly shouted, which made the monster attack him and killed him. When he saw an opportunity, Marcus quickly pulled the handbrake, which made the car slide towards their house. Finally, they met their mother. They all quickly entered the basement to hide there. There, Reagan saw everything her father had done, including his hard work to make Reagan hear the sound again. It made her very sad and regretful. But suddenly the monster appeared and quickly headed to the basement. Evelyn was ready to shoot the creature, but it was useless considering the outer skin of the monster was very hard. Because of the frequency produced by the monster, the TV there was disturbed. Feeling annoyed by the TV sounds, the monster quickly destroyed all the TVs. Suddenly, Reagan's hearing aid buzzed again and again. The monster felt pain. She then realized that maybe it was its weakness. She quickly buzzed her device again, and it succeeded in making the monster suffer. Feeling not enough, Reagan then took a speaker and buzzed her device in front of the speaker, which made the monster more in pain. With its head already blooming, it made Evelyn quickly shoot it, and killed the monster because the bullet hit its internal organs directly. It was seen on the CCTV that all the terrifying monsters were heading towards their house. Evelyn, who saw it, quickly cocked her shotgun, and the movie ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.